right. Hey guys, what's up? My name's Chris Kodiak, and you're watching High Input Games. Today is January 6th, 2021. We have outlived 2020, unlike what we all expected, but here we are. And how are you guys doing today? Doing good down there? Mr. Nicholas, the Wild One Gun, and DJ Mad Dog Mike over here. We're,
Yeah, I'd say I'm doing super good. Thank you, Chris.
yeah,
How about you,
considering.
Mike? You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing great, Chris. A little bit of a morbid intro, but I see where you're
Hey,
going with it.
morbid is the tone, I think, for today, everything that's going on. But we are here to talk about some uplifting content concerning video games. And if you guys are new to the channel, we are three very young individuals that like to discuss video games with each other and like to tell you a little bit of content that we scrounge up from the internet regarding all things video games, movies, entertainment, and we're here to show you what we know. And if you are here because you like us, I welcome you back to the show and hope we can give you a little bit of content that you haven't heard before. So with that said, we're going to roll right into it. The first segment of our show is, of course, what is news gaming? Now, these are where we're going to give you three headlines on our show that we have discussed with each other in detail. We hope you guys are on this. These are new headlines in the news that we found over the week. And first one up is an IGN article regarding The Medium. Now, we have with you guys, I'm not sure if you've all heard about The Medium. Have the two of you guys seen anything about The Medium yet?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm just hosting the show on my channel right now, but yeah, definitely seen a lot about The Medium. So The Medium stars Troy Baker as the Ghost, and this is a dual part sort of
Exactly.
two games playing at the same time. You're running, I guess, in the real world and simultaneously in the spirit world. Being a medium, you can basically blend your foresight and see different worlds at the same time.
Underneath, yep.
So it looks like as you touch certain things, you're starting to get some awareness of the spirit realm, and you're able to kind of access the viewpoint from the spirit realm based on the things that you touch, as a medium typically would, I would assume.
Yeah, I noticed that as she's going around, she grabs items and she finds things about them that kind of give her clues as to what she's looking for, right?
Kind of like a medium would.
Yeah.
Now, my question with this, I know there was an issue with the hardware specs. Basically, running two games at the same time here has been difficult. And Nick, I know you mentioned that the hardware has been. They believe the PS5 and Xbox Series X can keep up with what they're hoping to do here.
No, could completely agree. I actually have a statement that I'm pulling from Ryan McCaffrey from IGN, where it says the two worlds thing is why the Medium is a next gen exclusive. It's running, and when I say next gen exclusive, I mean simply an Xbox exclusive at this point. It's running two game worlds at the same time. Protagonist Marianne's real world and the sinister spirit world that she can see do unique things in. The screen literally splits horizontally at times as you navigate both worlds at the same time. And the lead designer told me quite simply, running two worlds simultaneously just doesn't work on current gen hardware. So it does seem like this is a step in the right direction, as we were talking about a couple weeks ago about next gen games and moving away from the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. So pretty happy to see this, you know?
Yeah, I think that's great. I think that I've brought up conversations before where I think that the older hardware, I think we see it with Cyberpunk where it holds back these games, from being able to achieve what they can. We're handcuffed just a little bit by that hardware.
Mm-hmm.
So, they're talking about how long of a life are they talking about in some of these older consoles still?
Another
2
year.
years?
Yeah, another
Man,
year.
that's a long
That's
time.
probably at the least, yeah. You have
That's
to
a long
remember
time.
that the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, how just they are they're in so many people's homes right now, and the install base is absolutely huge. And there are
Wow, this
people
game
out
looks
there who
cool.
aren't interested in these new consoles right now. They're going to wait to see what software is released to match the powerful hardware that has also been released. So, excuse me. I think I would fall in line that for at least a year, there's such a heavy install base that there's really no other options for developers. You must include everybody at this time. You must still make sure, and it's a lesson we've learned, not to retread on stomped ground, but with Cyberpunk 2077, you must include your install base. If you have talked and developed a game over the past few years and you don't include the PlayStation 4 for any assertable reason. So if you've said from the get-go, this is a next-gen game like Godfall, which wasn't a smash hit, didn't blow people away, it wasn't revolutionary, but they said from the jump, this is a next-gen game. It won't be available in traditional
Visually,
hardware.
it is. Visually, it is. It's a
100%.
great looking game.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
Question, is a game
And I
like
think-
Horizon Forbidden West, is that considered next gen, or will that be playable on the PS4?
It
I
will
think-
be playable on the PS4. 100%.
That's a shame. However, it does look
pull it
remarkably
up
better
right
than
now.
the original. You know?
Yeah,
I mean,
it really does. But I think, man, I think the word next gen is definitely a blended. I think that's it. I think next gen's an opinion at this point, right? Because
completely
we all
agree
have
with Mike,
we all
and
have
I would
ideas
point-
of
I would
what
point
it is.
I would point my fingers towards Miles Morales being an absolutely fantastic PlayStation 5 game, but an equally special PlayStation 4 game. Yes,
Yeah.
on the PlayStation 5, it runs natively at 60 frames, 1080p, 60 frames, 4K with ray tracing if you want the performance mode, or sorry, the quality mode with ray tracing, and then 30 with full ray tracing on. So, but then if you, on the flip, you still have on the PlayStation 4 30 frame rates per second, 1080p, and also probably 60, 1080, and 30 4K. So my point is that these games still have a place, in both areas. They're not being held back as far as I'd like to think at the moment.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
Think about even like playing like something like The Last of Us Part 2. That game, even though it was played on the PS4 for us, had that not come out till next year, would you have called that a next gen game? I think I would have come close to calling that a next gen game. Like that
and I'll
was
reserve-
pretty damn great.
Well,
I'll
see, that's
reserve-
why. Sorry,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'll reserve my comments until we get to the part, but I'm currently playing Ghost of Tsushima on the PlayStation 5, and I would like to say, at least right now, it feels more at home on the PlayStation 5, and naturally it lines up with what you're saying, that if we had played The Last of Us Part 2 on a PS5 next year, would it have felt next gen?
Right.
Oh yeah. If it was running at a native 60 frames per second in 4K or 60 frames at whatever resolution it can handle, fantastic.
We all would have
I've
been
learned
shouting
that.
this next gen game from the rooftops, like that.
Yeah,
And that was
I've
a
learned that through
PS4
playing
game.
Ghost. It really, I've heard that it was a fantastic game on the PlayStation 4, but knowing that it natively was running at 30 frames and now it's running at that razor sharp 60, which we'll get to later on in the show, I think. But that's what I'm trying to tell everybody, is that there is a distinct difference between a poorly made port onto the next gen and a fantastic PlayStation 4 game that's being moved to the PlayStation 5 era to get those additional performance upgrades. Nobody wants to see The Last of Us Part 2 looking any better than it does. It looks fantastic. We just want to see it running better, loading faster. These small...
That's true. That's true. I think that's what everybody wants. I think the loading faster that's the answer that everybody wants from any of those games, right?
That's that SSD.
You don't want to wait for the game to start. But I think that's why I don't give games like Cyberpunk a pass running on those older consoles like that, because games like Ghost of Tsushima and Red Dead 2 and I mean those are grand scale games that look fantastic and they run perfect.
When you brought that up in the conversation that we were having, and you said, look at the way some of these traditional games are running and compare them to the argument that they're saying that like our game was just too much for current or past gen hardware.
You can't do that.
That's no
not
excuse.
a viable argument.
No. It's not.
The greatest game, arguably, of last year was on a PlayStation 4 base.
Yep.
And would have been considered a next gen exclusive had this been released on a next.
I would
PS5.
go as far as to say that it was probably the best game of last year, including games you could get on the PC, despite them having better power, better frame rates, better everything. It still didn't make up for the quality of that game. And I'm not just talking about its story and everything else that we can get into with The Last of Us Part 2. I'm genuinely talking from a technical standpoint.
The kill scenes, the way they literally pulled you in and you felt like you were getting murdered in those scenes were... You don't get that in any other game. Any other game, period. Those kill scenes, honestly, as morbid as that sounds, was the part of that game that I felt made it feel next gen. But that's a
100%.
topic for another conversation. All things aside, the medium looks fantastic.
I think it does.
Pretty
I'm
excited
excited
for
for
that
that.
one,
I'm
you know.
chomping at the bits for any next gen like Series X optimized
Sure.
game that I can get, which is why I bought Phoenix for like $30.
And
Does
there-
it seem like Microsoft has got a lot of investment on horror games at the moment? Like they seem to always churn out.
Yeah, it
these
does. It does.
Alan Wake style, Control style.
I do find it pretty interesting that they booked Troy Baker to be the voice here. That's a pretty big that's a pretty big pull in for a game like this, especially for an exclusive on Microsoft. That's interesting.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully that means that the story scenes are great. You know,
Right. I
That's-
don't think he would have signed on for some trash. You know, I think
Definitely not.
That's
No.
interesting. I'm excited to see what they do with that. I mean, I don't mean to pivot too hard, but there is another game I would like to discuss that a lot of people have been very excited about, and that's going to be Outriders. This is a looter
by
shooter.
the way, Nick, Zach
go for it.
said he loves your Secret Labs chair.
Oh, nice.
right on. Right on.
We were just talking about that chair. Yeah. But yeah, there's
You might be able to buy it in an auction.
yeah, real quick. It's for sale if
Yeah.
you're interested, Zach. So there is a new game coming out called Outriders. It was due to come out here this year, which should have been out the next couple of weeks. However, we do have an announcement that it has been delayed to April, and that the demo will be available come February, not Friday. And that's a game called Outriders. It's a looter shooter. It pulls a lot from Destiny 2, it appears. Nick, you got a little bit to say about this. I think you go ahead.
Yeah,
and take
you know
this
me,
one here.
guys. I'm just pulling and scraping from Forbes articles. If you guys want to get the full scoop on this is from Pultasai. You can head over to Forbes.com and check out their game section where they do a much better write-up, because I'm just pulling little bits and pieces from this and letting you guys know what I know. Now, this game does lean. It feels heavily on the way that Avengers has just been made. It has traditionally been made by Square Enix again, which has released the other looter of the year, Avengers. So Outriders borrows pretty heavily from the Destiny aesthetic. It has classes, loot, leveling, and all of the trademarks of a traditional looter. As such, it has been grouped up with those other games, though I think that's a huge mistake. People who are asking me if I think the Outriders is the last hope for looters after so many high-profile non-Destiny missteps like Anthem, Avengers, and Godfall.
Did you just say the words that we don't speak?
Basically, they were saying like missteps like Avengers, Anthem,
the Voldemort
and
of video
Godfall.
games.
They got all three of them there. Are kind of asking the wrong question, and I think Outriders is pretty much clear about the type of game that it's trying to be a month from now. So it seems like they're not having this be a games of service game. Outriders is not games as service, so we're not even thinking about that. Creative team director says the end game is important to us, and we know some people enjoying those aspects too. So does this fall more in line with a Division 2? You know, I mean, I
Wouldn't
don't want to
Division 2 be?
You know, it
Division
actually
2,
looks
yeah.
more like a Destiny 2, but that's more of a games.
Well,
game
it looks
as a
like a
service.
Destiny 2 as far as the aesthetics, but as far as the actual gameplay, as being like a campaign mode, and when you're done kind of deal, that would fall more
Here
in
we
line with
go.
Destiny.
The hallmark of the current looter craze is that no, these games do not essentially end. Destiny and Warframe feel absolutely eternal with their massive player bases. The Division 2 has had 2 years worth of season and ongoing manhunts, and may get even more. Borderlands 3 is in its second year of content drops and season passes, and even failures like Anthem and Avengers are getting reworks and loads more characters respectively. Outriders is simply not doing that, and this leads to perhaps my favorite quote when lead writer Joshua Rubin was asked about the game's roadmap. Our roadmap is releasing a game that in 2020, which I guess they didn't
You know
make
what?
that
Can I? Yeah, let me pivot that to actually a release that they put out. They said, "Happy New Year. We believe it's important that players get to experience a new IP like Outriders before release." Before is underlined, so that you can decide yourselves whether the game is something you wish to pre-order, purchase, or play. For this reason, we're excited to announce that on February 25th, 2021, we will be publishing a free demo, giving everyone the chance to play the first few hours of the game with all
3
four
hours.
classes. Yep, the first few hours.
Oh,
few.
okay.
So in both single player and co-op, along with seamless migration of your character and progress progressing from the full game. I can't progress to the full game. Speaking of which, we have decided to move the release date of Outriders to April 1st, 2021. No joke! Exclamation point. We will spend this extra time fine-tuning the game and focusing on delivering a fantastic play experience at launch. Thanks for hanging tight a little longer. We appreciate your patience.
Well,
there you go.
Respect on
But
that. You know, that's
now
how you handle
here's
some
my
shit.
question.
You know,
This is a next-gen game, right? This isn't for
Ooh, I
older
would.
consoles, is it? I'm curious. Is it for?
no, I don't. I believe this
Chris,
is.
pull that up right now while I just quickly rack off this quote, which I found very inspiring.
And by the way, Warframe is another game that you guys overlook that you shouldn't. It's very good.
I know it has a
keep
huge
expanding
following.
it, right?
Humongous.
It's been a long time coming. So finally, in this article, he says, I find myself falling victim to the looter live service mentality by accident now. Recently, I beat Cyberpunk 2077, and after clearing the entire map. With nothing left to do, I bemoaned that there was nothing to farm, forgetting that, yes, some games are supposed to be just over, even if you still enjoy playing them. That's a nice little line right there.
That
That
is-
is a nice little line.
That sometimes if you're just trying to drill a game to the bone, and you're like, why can't I find any more fun in this? Because you beat it, my guy. You're done. The game's finished.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I think I don't know. I get lost in MMORPGs and games like Final Fantasy 14 and World of Warcraft.
It's nice
and
to
things
have
like
a game that you can play forever.
It is really it's kind of comforting that you're playing a game is not going to end with a population that's huge. It is. It's just very comforting. You feel like you're in your own world, but you do find yourself getting a little lost in them, and after a while, things get repetitive. It's inevitable.
And you wonder, the story, how can this go on for so long? I thought this was going to be this culminating event, and now here we are, 5 years later, still doing the same stuff. So sometimes you're right, putting a period on the end of a game and saying, this is our finished creation, it is what it is, can sometimes be so much more of an easy digest. And I find myself realizing that with a lot of these single-player games. I get myself lost in a good single-player game. I remember when the conversation was, are single-player games dead? And I just believe that couldn't be more wrong with games like God of War and Cyberpunk and even games like Arc 2 now having a traditional story mode being baked into it. And just we're looking at some really good stuff, you know what I mean? And video games have entered this new age now where
they're a way to tell stories, They're
definitely a way to tell stories.
Oh my God, they're movies.
The best way to tell stories, arguably.
I was telling you that about Yakuza. I just found myself getting lost in some of the cutscenes are like 20 minutes long. I'm okay with it because it's so good. It's very, very entertaining. They really know how to write scripts and act, and
that's one thing I will say about
much better than it
Yakuza.
used to.
Yeah, you get lost in the dialogue because it's so well written. Right?
It is very well written.
Lines where you're like, why are they talking about like whatever? When they say something in Yakuza, it's like so well articulated the way that they're trying to say it, you know?
I mean, I was talking to my wife at the time, and we were discussing about how video games, because she just got the Quest 2, and some of the video games that we've been playing on the Quest 2. Yeah. It's a hell of a good time, by the way. If you guys haven't bought it, buy it. It's the best way you can spend $300 right now. But we were playing some games, and she was having a hell of a lot of fun.
Well, you can't get a new console or a video card, so
get
a Quest.
Get a Quest.
Yeah.
That's fun. You can have with $300 available to you right now. But
I saw they're back in stock now as well after that big purge over Christmas. They're all back in.
They are. And Big Screen got a massive population boost.
Yep, that's a kick-ass little app. But she's having a kick-ass time on it, and she's like, wow, like I'm really enjoying playing this game. I'm like, I think video games have a bad stigma. I think that, and I'm even guilty of it. I mean, a couple years back, I know we've all discussed it, where I was not a huge gamer before, probably about 7 years ago, I started playing games, and which is odd. Most people play games as children and never kind of grow out of that stage. I played a couple of games, but they weren't a big part of my life. And as I became an adult, I came to fall in love with the stories that video games told. And I realized that video games...
almost got pulled away a couple times.
I mean, and I did get pulled away. I did get pulled away because I do turn away from the time suck that is video games. Because in the same... And it's not just video games, mind you. It's all entertainment. TV series, movies. I look at them as a bit of a time suck. Reading a book is a good thing. If you read a book 17 hours a week, probably not the best way to spend your time.
But it's stimulation. I think any
Sure.
mental stimulation is very good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it causes you to think, to feel emotion,
A lot
to
of games cause
you know. I mean, it's good stimulation. Yeah, murdering, shooting. Obviously, that's a little more mindless, but sometimes you need a mindless experience. Sometimes you don't.
You also have to
you want to just turn it off.
How mindless is the murdering and shooting when it's in a competitive environment, when you're trying to actively think about, it's like a chess game, right? Chris has been talking about chess
strategy.
You're thinking, where is this guy coming out of the window or the building? And I got to be ready for both options so that when he comes out, I get him.
Back when CS Counter-Strike was like 1.5, back when I or even before that. I mean, it was really old. I'm old.
Don't give it away.
When we used to do strategies and study strategies for like hours after school, every single day, all of us would get together and just strats, and just all day long. I mean, it's ridiculous how much you got to remember just to be able to do call outs. And
but I'm saying that I mean, I know we're getting a little off topic here, so I'll pull it back in. But I just wanted to bring up the fact that storytelling has evolved, and people like my wife, who is not a gamer in any capacity, can appreciate how video games have turned from something like Super Mario or something kind of nerdy a little bit like Star Fox, which Star Fox is my all-time favorite game ever.
Yeah, really.
But it was like, if you're sitting in your room as a 30-year-old man playing Star Fox, I mean, for hours, you're probably not doing the best with yourself, but the best thing you could be doing at the time. But if you're playing Last of Us, I'm telling you, man, it's a difference.
Some people love retro games. I know people who are super successful and they play hours of retro
There's
games.
nothing wrong with a retro game. I'm not knocking a retro game. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, Mr. Tetris.
Look, I love Tetris. I love the hell out of Tetris, but there's
know it makes you feel things.
It does, makes me emotional. That Tetris Connected is a game. But all I'm saying is that it's a new way to tell stories that I think is missed on the majority of population. Some of the best stories I've ever heard, and I'm a big movie buff, I'm a big television buff, all of us are. The best ones I've heard in the past 3 years have been on video games, and 90% of my friends don't know them. One
thing I'd like to ask your wife too, or one thing that I was thinking about while you were saying that, is that maybe, right, like, you know how some people need to be slowly introduced to video games. So for children, you get the Nintendo, and then after Nintendo, they want something else. So, but she had already surpassed these things, right? And she's an adult now. So it's like, what's the adult starter kit to get them into the PlayStation and the Xbox and things like that? And so when she realizes, I enjoyed this experience, and I'm not sure if I enjoyed it because it was VR or because I was playing a game.
Right.
And you're like, well, if you enjoyed that game, I got a bunch of other games on the TV that you might also like. And when you learn to play a game and you learn to like a game, then you learn to love the games. And so I imagine that when people are in the VR, does it suddenly shift to, I'm having fun. And I didn't think that this type of, I thought this was nerdy. I thought this was for my husband and his friends. And now
more
of fun.
It's like, I don't know that there's an easy way to explain the difference.
It's not as nerdy as they think. They don't know it, right? They don't even know it at all, right? That, like I said, the stories that we've heard over the past several years playing games are some of the greatest stories ever told, and we were interactive with them, and most people don't even know they exist. They think that we're sitting here playing some horsey game when we're playing Red Dead, and it's like, dude, that's the best Western story told in the last 7 years. Like,
we can't imagine what it's like to be Kodiak's dad, and you hand him, or my father, or anyone's father, you hand them a controller and you say, here, you drive the car in Grand Theft Auto, right? So we've known that R2 moves a car since we were 8.
Yeah, right? Now you're having to explain it.
Yeah, he has. Well, what button makes me go? Triangle? I'm like, triangle? That makes you get in and out of stuff. You should know that by now.
Like, that's ridiculous.
Like, and they're like, well, I thought circle would be to put the windows down. Put the windows down? Why would you even put windows down in this game? You know what I mean? So we have to remember that there's a level of intimidation that comes with these things. You're sitting there whizzing through Crash Bandicoot, playing all these games, top notch, and then you're like, yo, it's your turn. And then they're like, well, this has about 17 more buttons than the old games used to.
Atari had a joystick and a button. Yeah.
Wait until that's us. I mean, even we have new things that we're having to learn about, like on the PS5 that you have. You're learning
100%.
Astro's
Yep.
Playroom introduces you to the haptic feedback and the and the pressure triggers and the all that stuff.
I did mention the other day to my brother that I feel like we've reached, at least for now, the pinnacle of controller design. We know what a controller handles like, feels like. The analog sticks are very responsive, and I feel like they've really worked it. I don't believe we have this in the docket today. It was just something that was recently brought up. But you sent me that article about Xbox asking their customer base if they
I saw
are
that
missing
today.
some of the features on the PlayStation 5 controller.
You know what's funny? People in the comments that I read on WCCF Tech were like, not really. They were saying not really, but I think the responses were overwhelming for like the haptic feedback.
Yeah, see, my brother wants the triggers, he wants the feedback, and overwhelmingly thinks that us having a microphone in the controller, like this is how my son uses the party chat when he doesn't have his headphones. He goes and plugs in a pair of buds like Chris is wearing right now, and then there's a mute button on the PlayStation controller, and you can, when you mute it, it lights up in orange, and when you unmute it, it goes back to regular. And then there's a speaker on the front just in case you didn't have headphones, so you can hear your friends talking. And there's a mic on the back, so you're just playing your game. And you're just like, "Yo, guys, can you hear me?" Everyone's like, "Yeah, I can hear you just fine." It's incredible.
Wait, so if you have a mic and a speaker on your controller, so you don't have to, you literally don't need headphones at all to play the fucking
I didn't
game.
know that.
That's interesting.
I didn't even know that.
That's super interesting. That
kind of makes me. I might pick up a PS5 controller tomorrow and. You have my dongle, you bastard.
Here we go. So this here is the mute button. You click this button, it goes orange.
So I've always known there was a speaker in the middle. I mean, there's been one there for a while, but
and then PlayStation is a button now instead of a circular thing. That's the full button, and then microphone on the back. So yeah, you're just chilling like this, like yo. And Greg Miller from Kind of Funny Games, he said, "Listen, my headphones died. We were in the middle of a game, and I was rushing around to figure out. Oh, I guess they can't hear me. Whatever, I'll charge my headphone." And they were like, "No, we can still hear you." And he looks down. He's like, "Wait, they're coming out of the speaker, and they can hear me through the controller."
That's pretty amazing, man. I love that.
I don't ever remember anybody listing that as a feature anywhere.
And that's
the flat bottoms.
I think that's very fucking clean, man. I love it. I absolutely
Look how
love
long these are now to match the Xbox. They said that it's as if PlayStation realized overnight that, oh yeah, the hand is curved, and so it's a great size.
I have to admit though, I really my Elite 2 controller has been by far my favorite controller. I can't say enough how comfortable that controller feels in my hand. Like,
but it's really
maybe
nice
it's the
to have a
rubber.
stock
It might be the
controller.
rubber.
It's little side by sides.
It's larger. Wow.
Crazy, right?
Is that the
It's
Series
bigger.
controller or is that the Xbox One?
No, this is the Xbox One controller, but a Series controller, the main difference, Chris, is that this bezel, this bezel here is gone, right? On my brother's, he doesn't have this dip anymore. Yeah, this is gone.
Maybe, but I know that they did the same thing with the D-pad as they did on this one.
Same D-pad as that, and then they just
similar
removed the bezel from the top. Check it out, Chris. Pull up a picture for everybody right now of an Xbox One controller. Just
but of course, these are the
he's got the paddles on the back.
The paddles are nice. I only use one of them, but
yeah, I would imagine that 4 panels is overkill unless you're really like Fortnite.
And then what does it have? The triggers that you can change it so it's the different set triggers, so they're shorter.
No way.
Nothing. Yeah.
Oh wow! So your response time on an R2 button is killer. Yeah. See, I used. I'm gonna get into a little discussion here in a minute. Remind me to talk about Astro's Playroom when we get towards the end when we're talking about games.
Well, I kind of wanted to use this time that you're talking about the PS5 here, controllers, to discuss some news we got on the PS4, which is that the PS4 Pro has been discontinued as of. When is this starting? I don't see it on the notes here. Is PS4?
I thought Japan was starting first.
As of like immediately, I believe. Like,
yeah,
with the new year, it was done.
That's a pretty remarkable statement. I mean, I just feel
Were
like
they
it's a
still
little
making?
soon.
Have they still been making PS4 Pros?
Obviously, they're just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
discontinuing
Of
them
course,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they should have shut that down as soon as the PS5 came out and used all that, all that
All those factories.
manufacturing
That's
power.
probably why they're
Yeah, really.
discontinuing it immediately. They're like, why are we making PS4 Pros and we can't even supply the people with PS4, PS5?
Everybody has the money for it, and they fucking want it, and no one can get it.
Money's
Make
just
it.
literally sitting on the
Make
table.
more.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I agree.
that's
Well, you
something.
saw Microsoft reached out to AMD and asked them to help them with their supply chain.
What did
This
they
is like,
say?
look, we are literally struggling right now. We need you all hands on deck. More processing chips, more Xboxes, everything out the door. Let's go.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see who can get there first. I've always said this is a supply race, and the guy to get there first, the guy who can get there. If you walk into a Target, and imagine that it's only one company that can do it first for 2 weeks. You walk into a Target and there's PS5s everywhere, but there's no Xboxes. PS5 won. That's it. Because everyone's gonna be like, "Wow, I gotta buy. That's all that matters. I'm next gen now,
Yeah.
baby."
You're
You
right.
know? And if it's the other way around, if Xbox is on every shelf and not a PlayStation to be found for another month.
Yeah, dude,
Xbox
it's for sure. I can't tell you how much I'm enjoying having. It's just the speed alone. You know, it like watching. We're just watching Netflix, and you know, in the middle of Netflix, somebody stop, go to the bathroom, get a phone call, something like that. So I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna pull up what I was doing in my game. Quick resume, boom, back in the game in 10 seconds, and then it's like, oh, ready to watch a movie again. All right, 2 seconds, right back into Netflix. I mean, it's just incredible how quick everything is.
That's a very cool feature, man. It really is. That's money.
It's just so,
One of my favorite things about the Xbox probably, and I know we've discussed it many times, is the Game Pass. Obviously,
yeah.
PS5. Nick, have you downloaded their collections yet? Have you gotten involved with the collections for all their PS? Don't they have a collections menu or collections of their games with the PS5 of all their exclusives from the last gen?
Oh yeah. No, I didn't even think about that. I wonder if that's tied to their Play account, where you have to be a part of like the Game Pass thing, and then you get.
Have they started that? I didn't think they started their.
Oh yeah,
pass
they've
thing
got
yet, did
Play.
they?
It's right there on the home screen when you sign on. Where are we at in the news right now? Are we about to move on to?
Yeah, I'm about to get into Little Nightmares right now. You have something else you want to bring up?
No, that's fine. I was gonna bring up, if we were gonna go to PlayStation, I was gonna grab the box and stuff.
I'm actually kind of excited for you to bring up the Little Nightmares video because I have not seen that yet.
Okay.
Oh, this game's terrific.
So our next little segment here is called our new game impressions. Now, obviously, this one here is not technically a new game. But it is a new game. I'm assuming on the Game Pass. Is that why it's here? Yeah. So
yeah, that's why I dropped it in there. I was like, man, as far as a little gem would be concerned, like everybody can play.
Yeah, this one has been on our radar for a long time. None of us here have really gotten too much time involved on this, but it will be getting played before next podcast. But I got a little gameplay here for you pulled up. We're gonna go ahead and share it. It is a little side scroller almost. I guess you would call it a side scroller platforming game, and it is I guess you play as a little guy trying to get out of a house. And the house is kind of haunted, it appears. It's a very dark game, it appears.
I really like the tone.
Oh, that is impossible to see.
Right? It's very dark. I mean, even though...
Oh, that's the point,
No,
though.
it's fine. She's going to show you the light.
But
and what's it called?
Little Nightmares.
Little Nightmares.
And
there's a sequel coming out, I believe, within a month or so. Little Nightmares 2 is hot, done, it's ready, it's finished, it's out the oven. Look at this game right here. Look at this.
Wow, it is
gorgeous.
That looks incredible.
Yeah, and some of the bosses in this game are like just straight eerie,
and they're
creepy.
Not technically bosses because there's no real attacking in the video game. It's like a stealth game. You are just hiding from these giant creatures. And
dude, look at the like the clothes and how it's reacting to when she moves. That's wild. That is insane.
Visually,
all the shadowing and it is very visually appealing.
Look, here's one of the big guys here running around while you're hiding under the bed. It's just got some creep, and there is a oh great, I caught.
Oh, that is creepy.
No, I love it. They remind me of like the Bergens from the Troll movie.
Caught an ad.
Yeah, I'll switch it off. There is a there is an element of like a Tim Burton-esque feel to this game that I really just love the hell out of, and that there is a first-person mod as well on PC, Mike, too. If you
Could you imagine a VR mod for this?
well, that's what I asked Nick today.
Oh,
I'm like,
man.
is the first-person VR compatible? And we don't know the answer to that, but we should look that up, because if it is, I will set that up right now, and hopefully my PC can run that.
Wow,
'cause
this
that would
is super creepy,
yeah, it's
but
very, cool.
cool.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm excited for it.
It
It's a
almost
game-
seems like it's kind of like
like
the
cl-
physics. It's like a ragdoll type
yeah,
physics.
with the claymation style look to it a little bit. But guys, so you know, it is on
you
Game
can play
Pass
in
right
VR.
now. You can play on VR.
Yeah, VR support for Little Nightmares. Hi,
What?
I think the VR support should be added to your game. Well, this was in 2017, but I'm looking at March 21. Let's play Little Nightmares in 3D in VR using Helix Vision.
Okay, we will look into that and get back to you guys next week on that one.
Let me just tell everybody the release date for Little Nightmares 2, because if you guys love this, you are going to absolutely love what they do.
Yeah, this is pretty neat.
So the release date
I don't
for
know.
Little
I'd never heard of this game
February
before, but
11th,
it's really cool.
2021. So we are we're about 1 month away from the release of Little Nightmares 2, which can just be like, it's an upcoming puzzle platformer horror adventure games developed by Tarsier Studios and is being produced by Bandai Namco. But yeah, just like, I just want to get some visuals of what we're looking at for Little Nightmares 2. Like, it almost looks, Chris, that Little Nightmares 2 is taking it out of being a side scroller and into being a 3D. She's walking this way towards the camera. Like, type in Little Nightmares 2 release date, hit images, and scroll down, and you'll see them. Like, yeah, there's a little bit of side scrolliness still to it, but it looks like you're able to, like, I don't know. No, definitely able to. Oh, I don't know now, because that doesn't look. Maybe that's. I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm sorry, guys. I was getting a little caught up there.
No, you're
But,
good, man. It definitely. We'll get some Little Nightmares 2 gameplay pulling up right here. It's one, like I said, it's been on our radar for a while, man.
She teaches standing there with the rule in her hand, and she's standing there like that. Oh, it's creepy.
Wow, yeah, I love that. I love the animation for it, man. I really do. I think it's
And you can
great.
see how they've got more money for the sequel. So they're
Yeah.
like, oh, we're going to go heavier with the cloak, making the cloak look like it runs. Look at the shadow. Everything about the sequel.
Yeah, this is really neat.
Look at that. Oh, yeah, it is 3D. She just went up the stairs.
Mhm. Yeah, that's.
Yep.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
that's
Look at
great.
that.
That's
Is
really creepy.
that's super creepy, man. I don't like that
Yeah,
at
they
all.
did. Oh, look at the house. Oh, she's climbing on the table. Can they notice her?
No, they're
They-
like still. Look, there's like a friend there. I wonder if it's co-op.
Oh, wait. All right. Stop. Yeah, it is co-op. You're right.
Yeah,
Little Nightmares 2 is co-op.
looks like it.
Yeah,
That's
look,
great.
she pulled the chain.
Wow, look at that. That's so cool.
Let me type in Little Nightmares 2 co-op. I don't want to be giving our followers any false information.
And it looks like whatever that is slowed down.
It is. It's
Can
the
you
girl.
slow that down? Okay.
It's the girl with the hoodie on, and it's the guy with the box on his head. So yeah, it's the
What's going
girl
on,
in yellow.
Paul?
Paul, let me check this out. Hello, Paul. Little Nightmares 2 is there a two-player co-op between Mono and the other character? What are we getting here? Not only
PK
because-
Witten, thanks for the watch.
Yeah, this is worth a play. And you
This
say
is pretty cool.
February 2021, we got a co-op experience on Little Nightmares 2. If you guys are interested in this one, Little Nightmares 1 is free on the Game Pass right now. So if you're sub to Game Pass, you can jump right into the prequel right now. Get yourself up to date on the story. Would highly recommend it.
We should be doing a let's play on something like this where Chris plays it and we are just talking about Chris playing it and getting scared out of his wits.
We will be looking into Let's Plays, man, because I would love to get involved with that. I think as much games as we play, we should be doing that. Because this is shit.
I agree.
I do
Yeah, we
wanna...
definitely should be doing the Let's Plays.
Paul says, "What is this nightmare
What
I'm
is
watching?"
this nightmare I'm watching? That's funny.
So I do want to discuss another game. This is our next segment here called Late to the Party, where instead of talking about new games, which typically that last one wasn't quite new, but it is considering we talked about Little Nightmares 2.
All three of us.
Yep, there is a game that we wanted to. He said, "No shit, the game is called Nightmare." The next segment here is late to the party. These are games that come out, a couple months old, maybe even couple more years old, and it's a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah, if you don't have $60 to play on a game, this is a game that is a little bit on the cheaper side, and will get you into an experience that you may like for something a little cheaper. This one here is $40 when priced on sale at GameStop. A little more expensive than ones that we typically host on Late to the Party, but this game makes an exception for a lot of reasons. And Nick, I'm gonna let you take away this one on why Ghost of Tsushima is worth the $40.
Right. So
Man.
go on. Just to get everybody started on where we start with this game, it came out July 17th, 2020. So we're looking at a game that when I picked it up was basically 6 months old. And to pick up a game that's 6 months old for $40 that is of this caliber is an absolute steal. This game kind of got lost a little bit. I'm looking at the review score right now. The Metacritic is an 83. IGN 9 out of 10. This game was very well received by critics, very well received, if not better received by players, and it's so good. I mean, it takes place in, gosh, I wish I had this up right now because I don't know. Ghost of Tsushima time period. Because I know it's throwback, yeah. So this takes place in
it's like the 1800s. Oh, is it 12?
1274. We're talking about the age of the samurai, and it's literally incredible. It's Jin's story of redemption. So this is going to be a fairly spoiler-free review. It's the Mongols are invading Japanese territory. The way of the samurai is dying out, basically. There are 10 soldiers versus 500 soldiers, 80 soldiers versus 1,000 army strong. So the army is coming and it's invading your island. And now samurai are very proud. They're very proud about the way they fight. They're very proud about the way that they handle their business. So they like to walk into a fight fairly. But the Mongols don't fight fairly. They're brutal murderers. They do all this crazy barbaric behavior that can be linked to like Viking behavior, basically. So Jin is forced to adapt his behavior as much as he wants to be a samurai, and has been trained to be a samurai from his father, from his uncle, who have told him, you never stab someone in the back. To stab someone in the back is to lose honor. You must always challenge someone face on. But Jin realizes that taking people on face on is what is expected of him now, and the Mongols have a great way to counter that. So the only way to move forward is to drop the way of the samurai and to become the ghost, which is basically a ninja, where you're now fighting in the shadows, adapting your abilities, basically very Assassin's Creed-esque. This game is being called the Witcher 3 game of last year. So if you remember how good Witcher 3 was when you're riding around on the horse, how beautiful the open world environments were. When I played Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla a few months ago, I was impressed. I thought this is the next genuine step for Assassin's Creed, but it's not the next step performance-wise that I was looking for from a game. Ghost of Tsushima is a completely different game. I'm playing it on the PlayStation 5 right now, as I said earlier, playing at 60 frames per second with no graphical enhancements because I don't believe they felt like it was even necessary. When I turn this game on, draw distance is fantastic, scenery, fauna, everything that you're looking at in the game is moving, is breathing. It has got a really intricate waypoint system, so there's no map in the game. There's a map at the start menu, but there's no mini map. The way you see where you're going is you swipe up on your touchpad controller, and when you swipe up, the wind blows, and it blows all the leaves off the ground, and it blows in the direction that you're supposed to go.
I love
now,
that's really cool.
If it's raining too much and it's too much storm and you need more clarity because you're on a cliff top, you swipe to the left-hand side. Jin pulls out an instrument and plays a wonderful little Toonski, and the clouds dissipate and everyone's freaking like, this is awesome. So the game itself also has some great throwbacks to being, attributed to like samurai movies. If you've seen samurai movies, I'm gonna totally destroy the name if I say it, but it's like a Kawasaki mode that basically allows you to, which is named after a famous Japanese director, which allows you
and a
to
motorcycle company.
Basically, yeah, right. Kawasaki. It basically allows you to change the game to black and white, but not just black and white. It is black and white with added wind and rain effects, so it really does make you feel like you're playing as the samurai.
Can I ask a question real quick about the gameplay?
While I look it up, yeah.
The ninja experience that you're talking about, is this technically the story of the birth of the ninja mentality, or is ninja a thing in the game, or are you the first ninja and this is why ninja became a thing?
Is this like the edgy period?
I don't know what the hell the edgy period is.
Wonderful questions. Yeah, I'm not sure what that means either.
Yeah.
What I do know is that there hasn't been any other word of ninjas yet.
Okay, so like this could potentially be the birth of the reason why the ninja
why that style
developed.
of fighting adapted. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
That's very interesting.
It was born out of necessity, and I really enjoy that. Like most main video games, you start off quite strong and confident. You become, within an hour of the intro, you become face to face with the bad guy, and he sort of throws you, into a river. I've seen this happen in multiple video games. You get washed down the river, only to start off with broken armor, no weapons, and you're basically starting from scratch. What I do love about the game is that it kind of falls in line to Assassin's Creed Origins, where you were, what were they called in that game? Amaja? The guys that would go around and help people in the game. I forget what their name were. You were the last of them. You were the last.
Oh, wow. Are you talking about in Odyssey?
In Origins, the one in.
Oh yeah, the
Magi or something. It's fine. So
I think the Magi is it.
You felt like you had a reason to do the side quest because you were the last of your kind, and it was your job to save these people. And I feel like every side quest in this game, it doesn't feel like a throwaway, because you're playing, so you meet this woman and she's like, I won't help you until you help me locate my blacksmith brother. So you help her locate her blacksmith brother. You don't have to rescue him, but now she's like, all right, I'll help you, and we'll do this fight. You meet a sensei who's trained a female archer, and she's disappeared. He thinks she's left his he thinks she's been kidnapped by Mongols, but really she's left to join Mongols and train them in the way of the bow, and so you have to hunt her down. After you find out where she is, the sensei says, I'm with you, I'm down to play, and you have to continue the extra 8 or 9 missions to get to find out where his student is, and you kill her, obviously, acquire her bow, whatever. But it feels right as I'm chasing these side missions down. We've talked about how you're literally dying in Cyberpunk 2077, and yet you're riding around like, I got time on my hands to help everybody who needs a favor. But in this game, the Mongols are taking over Japan, and it's your job to help everybody who needs to be helped before you move on. And I love that.
But does it get into that war, the Mongol War?
Oh, I was assuming so.
That's
everything's
that's savage.
All the Mongols have come in their huge boats, and we're sitting on this island, and they've claimed that they're here to, we send a guy down in the very opening cutscene. We send one of our main soldiers down to have a peace talk with them, and they just throw oil on him and set him on fire. And they're like, right, now he's dead. Who's next? And we were like, wow, that's the tone of the game. It's really, really good. Again, PlayStation doing what they do best, turning out these absolutely killer exclusives.
Yeah.
Really showing me that was a title that, do not sleep on this. I know you guys have been saying, I've been playing this, I've been playing that, I'm looking forward to buying this, but this game came out of absolutely nowhere, and I bet it runs great on a PlayStation 4. I bet it does.
Everyone is talking about how this game was grand before the PlayStation 5 even got released. So I have no doubt that there's been no conversation about this game playing like shit on the last gen.
It just got lost under The Last of Us Part 2.
I wouldn't say that it got lost. I mean, it did get nominated for like 6 awards.
Was going to win last year, but I just don't feel like it got the attention that Abby, Laura Bailey.
It didn't just not get the attention. It got completely snubbed. I think the only thing they won is, art direction. It might have been the score. I don't remember. They only won one award, and it was some they didn't even have anyone from the studio come up and give a thank you. It was one of those they just released a couple of awards. They gave a couple of awards and a one, and Ghost is one of the only ones that won, and everyone on Twitter was so pissed that it got so snubbed because the game from a lot of people's perspective is an absolute masterpiece in a lot of ways. And after watching this amount of gameplay and hearing you talk about it, I'm picking this one up as soon as I can, man. That's a great.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it too.
Great way.
I think I have to.
Especially with you, Mike, loving the culture as you do. I'm shocked that
Yeah.
wasn't a day one for you, man. You know, that
It'll
was.
be up to 60 again now. I think January 5th was when the sale ended on PlayStation. But if anybody's looking to pick this up again for 40, just hold on for that Easter sale. When you guys get out of school, that spring break sale, you're gonna get those week sales within a couple months. I don't think they do a Valentine's Day sale, but I could be wrong. PlayStation's always got a sale up their sleeve. I feel like flash sales.
I do have a question for you, Nick. If it's not on sale for 40, would you recommend it to these guys to go ahead and pick it up for 60?
100%. You don't even have to worry about this one. You remember when sometimes I'm like, this isn't going to be it for you, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend your time. 100%. You'll turn this on and you'll be like, all right, yeah, I'm down with this. You'll genuinely feel like this is where Valhalla should be now. Now, don't get me wrong. I know this has been in development since the launch of the PlayStation 4. I know that Sucker Punch's last game was infamous Second Son.
Thanks, Paul.
And then when they were done with that, that was
Yeah.
it, you know? So,
and pulling into things like, you know, exclusives and ones that are coming out. I know a lot of people may not have the PS5 available to them. Again, the PS4, I think it'd be worth your time to play this game. You know, I mean, I'm gonna scoop it up myself. I don't have the PS5 yet. I'm gonna see how it plays on the PS4, but good review, Nick. Thank you. I appreciate that one, man. Well done. I know you also have a little bit to say about some other piece of hardware that you just picked up is the PS5. We're gonna roll into a segment here we like to call the Tech Talk, and our team here recently acquired a. Very difficult to get our hands on, but we did acquire one. A PS5 is now in possession. And Nick has a little bit to say about the PS5 here because
we all have a little bit
we
to say
do
about
have a
the
little bit to
PS5,
say about it because it's something we're all pretty damn excited about. But Nick,
It's,
One out of 3 people on the planet have one.
yeah.
out of 3, there you go. Feeling that kind of heat. They are hard to find. They are not cheap either if you have to go alternative routes. But for what I can tell you about the PlayStation 5 is that it is fantastic. It has an SSD drive that absolutely shits all over my PC's SSD drive. I've done time comparisons.
Have you? I was going to ask you this because I know you have a badass SSD in your PC.
I can launch my PlayStation in 3 seconds from dead asleep to log into my account. From there, I can click on Miles Morales, and in another 3 seconds, I'm perched on top of a lamppost in New York City.
Damn.
It blows my mind how
That's
fast
sick.
it is. I fast traveled in Ghost of Tsushima. Now, I can't compare how long the time takes, because in Assassin's Creed on the PC, it's around 9 seconds to go from one side to another. Not enough time to literally 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm looking, and now I'm loading in a little bit. Ghost of Tsushima is 5 seconds, 4 seconds every time. It is like loading time.
Ooh, Zach wants to know if it's faster than your PC.
That's what he just said.
Yeah.
It is. It shits all over it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
The hint pops up. I can read the first 3 words from the hint. I'm a pretty decent reader of
Let's be real. Let's be
And
real.
it
The reason for that is because the operating system on the PlayStation has been programmed in order to run that way. It utilizes the hardware in the PlayStation, its hard drive, kind of like memory, and it's able to access it very quickly and swap between things. So
your PC has to balance.
Your
all the
PC doesn't do that.
tasks.
Correct.
Yeah, this one
Correct.
is going. We've got one task to do, and that's give
Play
them the
games.
game they're asking
Yeah.
for. You know, and
That's a
so I'm
solid
talking
point.
about
Yeah.
a 4 to 5 second. You get 3 seconds in, 3 words in on Ghosts, and then you're loaded up. It makes fast travel fun because you're in an area and you're like, I gotta go back and get that cloak from that other shop vendor, and it doesn't take 15, 20 seconds to get to that shop vendor, or like Fallout 4, like 45-second load screen. You click on him, you click on it, you go like this. Oh wait, I can't. I'm back on it. You know, you don't have time to
So-
play with your phone. It's incredible.
So the PlayStation 5 uses a 980 Pro. It's a Samsung 980 Pro solid state, okay? And it's got read speeds. It's got write speeds of read speeds of 6.5 gigabytes a second and write speeds of 5 gigabytes a second. To preface that with your solid state, I'm going to look up what we have.
Yeah. Now I know that write speed is incredibly faster than the Xbox's write speed. The Xbox's write speed is a 2.7, I believe, or 3. This is a 5 gigabyte or whatever it is. It
Six and a half.
flies.
Six and a half.
It flies.
No, 5. Yeah, it was 5.
I can install Miles Morales in 20 minutes from nothing. Like uninstall, reinstall, 20
That's
minutes. I
remarkable.
go just get dinner and I come in and I'm playing Miles Morales. Like my brother's like, yo, it's taking me a couple hours to get like Battlefield and stuff. And we have a slightly different internet speeds as well. But even at 300 gigs,
Our 970 is 2500 megs by 2700 megs. So it's
a little slower.
it's like twice as fast.
That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Ours is twice as fast.
No.
No,
No,
theirs
it's
is. Yeah,
PS5.
that makes sense. Yeah, the 980 versus the 970. Yeah, I could
Mhm.
tell. I was just like, this thing is like an M.2. I was like, what is happening here? You know?
That's pretty
Yeah,
badass.
that's insane. That's
Well,
insane.
So you
ev-
got that. You got that. They're implementing quick resume because they understand that that's something that worked very well with.
Settle down, Chris.
With the Xbox. However, they do understand that implementing quick resume does take hardware space or hard drive space, and we don't technically have much of that to spare. And PlayStation comes stock with 850 gigabytes for some strange reason. instead
Yeah,
of
but I'll tell you what,
Very random.
mine was 860, I think.
Was
I
it?
think mine was like 860. Yeah, and I've got like 12 games on there.
on the Series
I've
X.
got a few. I'm rocking Miles, Ghosts, Call of Duty, Fortnite.
Call of Duty is going to
NBA
take up 38%
2K21.
of that hard
Call of
drive.
Duty takes up a lot.
No,
but
Call of Duty, they narrowed Call of Duty down like by half.
I got 2K21
Later, Paul.
on there, and then I
Later,
bumped
Paul.
in See you, bro. And I threw up Monster, that shark game that was free for everybody. That everybody
Maneater.
should be picking up. Maneater, yeah, I
Yeah.
picked that up and threw that on there too. So
I'm thinking about picking up Maneater, but I might actually. My nephews have been trying to talk me into getting Rainbow Six Siege, which I have heard really good things about.
Yo,
so.
Paige's
I own it on
favorite-
PlayStation 4. So
Paige's
good.
favorite video game she ever played was Rainbow Six, and I was like, I'm gonna have to pick up Rainbow Six for you, babe. We gotta get down.
I've
on
heard
that.
Siege is really good.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I mean,
It's really nice because they do that. I don't know if it's 4-4 or 5-5, but they do that. You get 2 minutes to drive your drones around and spot where they're planning, and
Mhm.
they've got 2 minutes to put all their barricades up, and then
Yep, that's what that is.
that
Yeah.
5 people are infiltrating the
Yeah.
building, while the other 5 know, lock and load. They're
They're
going to be coming in
coming. Yeah.
somewhere.
Mhm.
I love that type of gameplay.
Yeah.
It is. Hearts going which way? They're over by the east side, and everybody's running. Pow, pow, pow. It's good stuff.
that's my favorite kind of paintball setup is when you get to hold down a fort and you know they're coming, but you don't know from which direction they're gonna come from, and you just gotta hold.
Hey,
spot down.
IGN gave Rainbow Six Siege 8.5 out of 10,
It's
I
so
didn't know that.
good. And if that
and
was
it's only $8 right now, by the way.
$8.
well, on PC
Mhm. Yep,
Damn.
yep, it's $8 right now.
on
Gonna
Steam.
have to get that. That sounds pretty damn nice. That's enticing.
Mhm.
That's excellent.
I'm gonna just buy it right now.
Oh, Chris, I want to talk to you both about a game real quickly. It's
Go ahead.
called Phasmophobia, and it is being called.
Oh, so my nephew Brody has that game and has an Oculus Rift, and
They're calling
says,
it the number
amazing.
one co-op game of 2020.
"Yeah, Chris,
Phasmophobia.
we can play this. We can buy this on Steam and play it through virtual desktop."
It's
I don't know
four-player
about
co-op,
this,
so I
dog.
can
That
play
looks
with you.
creepy.
It's-
Just looking at the
it's-
title
it's a
screen.
Listen to me. Listen.
You're like
It's
Ghost
a Ghost
Hunters.
Hunter game, and when you're
Pull
together,
up a video of this.
I am,
when
man.
you're together, less spooky stuff happens to you. The AI knows when you're on your own, and you'll have to separate. One will have to go to the basement to do the breakers. One will have to go upstairs. The AI knows you've separated and will move books off the shelf and all sorts of spooky shit. I'm like, dude, this is awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna have
Great
to get
for a
that.
Let's play.
I love horror games. Like horror, anything
Oh, Chris,
is my
this
shit.
is like the ultimate
So I'm
And it's 4 players, so I can play even without a VR at the moment until I pick one up, and I'll jump in with you guys. That's awesome. But yeah, $13 is all it is.
Chris, you got a video for that?
yeah, it's playing right
I
now.
kind of want to
I
see.
just pulled it up.
Oh, that's just late.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, I saw them talking about it on a certain website, and they were like, "This is the greatest co-op game of 2020." I'm like,
So
how?
what? It's got
Like, how
this
did you miss
little.
this?
It's got this little like
The,
reader.
the EM reader.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris, you would love it, dude. This is up your alley.
Yeah,
No
I'm a bit-
spooky. You know how I get scared over, like, I can't even watch it. the
That's why
movie.
I'm surprised
So,
to hear
like-
you say you want to play this shit because you
Oh,
get so
dude,
scared with
because I'll
horror
jump.
stuff.
I think people would love that.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
Could you imagine this in VR?
So what, it's
This
just
is-
like-
I
it's
feel
just-
like this
it-
has to be terrifying.
In the pitch black, and you see the EM reader spike. Nah, bro, I'm good. I'm out, and it's probably got
On
some
your
weird
own,
sounds.
you got headphones on, and you hear like, "Ah!"
Let's hear what it sounds like. Here's some sounds for y'all.
Go and look for fingerprints and take a picture of the body.
I don't have a
Oh,
camera.
look, when
do
you've
I?
only got the
I do?
flashlight.
No, she had the camera.
Okay, pick it up.
Ooh,
I'm not.
Oh,
Oh, it's
seeing
them
enough.
talk. It's just them talking. Oh,
Zach, how did you like it? Or you said Declan played it.
Yeah.
Declan, how did you like it?
So is this an Oculus game, just strictly on Oculus, or do I need to put it on my PC?
I
and
think it's
play
on
with
Steam.
virtual
No, it's
desktop?
on Steam. No,
That's
it's
what
on
he was
Steam.
talking about.
I don't know
Yeah,
either. I
Steam.
don't remember doing that. So
You must have got real fired up.
yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna have to set up my virtual desktop in order to play this on Quest.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's
I sh-
worth virtual desktop's worth it anyways.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Do you have to pay for it?
Virtual desktop, you do.
Really? How much is it?
Mm-hmm.
How much?
Yeah, cause you know me, dog. I'm a little pinch a penny.
Yeah, I know you are.
I think that's what's
Uh,
really good about this group, though, bro, is that a lot of people are that way and they want to save a buck.
Yep.
Groupon, that
Get it
way,
on
okay, for 50 bucks
Steam.
cheaper.
Oculus. I think you buy it on Oculus, and then you have to sideload the.
Oh no, I'm talking about virtual desktop. Is virtual desktop
Yeah,
free?
you buy it on
Oh.
Oculus.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
And then you can and then you download the streamer app on their website for the PC.
Very cool. So I'll pick that one up. We will we will definitely discuss that one here next week and
It's highly
let you
worth
guys
it.
know. We might even get some Let's Plays in if we can pull it off. But I do want to switch gears a little bit away from games here for a second because we do have a segment. We like to just not talk about games but also shows and movies that are coming up or ones that we may find interesting for you guys to spend a little time on. And I know something that everyone's been talking about right now, and I recently just started. I'm about halfway through season 1, but season 3 just dropped on Netflix, and that is Cobra Kai. Now I know,
Ooh,
I know
oh
the
man!
two of you are massive fans of the show, and I know if anyone
Have you
here is
watched it yet,
listening-
Nick?
I'm waiting for Cameron to get back on.
Oh, you
on-
haven't seen it? Okay, okay. So
Oh man!
yeah, so I mean, from what I've heard, this show
Hold on,
is
let's dial back for a second to where Chris is, since we can all talk about it. Like,
yeah.
when you saw Johnny get into his car and put on that old music and how they just nailed the tone, he pulls up next to the jogger and says, "Hey," and she just
Hey.
runs off. And
Yeah, it's like
and
you
he's
fucking
like, puts
crazy.
his glasses back on, and he's like, "Whatever."
Chris, did you watch it?
Drives.
Yeah. I watched. I'm on season 1 right now. And I love it. I mean, I
It's so much different than I expected.
They're
Like I
saying that
didn't
there's
expect it to be
no-
that well written.
They say they're aware that it's a cheesy comedy too.
So
They're
that's
not-
what I was about
they're
to
not
say.
ignoring that.
I love that they did not shy away from the fact that, hey, what we're making here is corny as hell, right? It is corny, and we're okay with that, but we're making a good story while it's being corny. The thing I worry about, and obviously I'm very early in, and so don't judge what I have to say, but I worry that it's borderlining on cliche. And the fact that
It'll go other ways.
Yeah.
It
'cause-
can't be because the cliches, all of them, half of them come from this movie. You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's what I'm.
Yeah,
that's what
it's
I'm.
good. Yeah,
like it's. Oh.
it's less about it's not even pulling from a
It's-
shitty movie. It was the shitty movie. Like,
Right.
I keep reminding my dad that like this kid is that kid. Like, you know, the girlfriend they keep referring to,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
girlfriend that they that's Elizabeth Shue from The Boys when she was a girl. You remember Elizabeth Shue,
Yeah.
the main character who gets her eyes?
Yeah.
So she'll that's incredible. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
So
that's-
I got to say there's a little example I have. I just watched Disturbia. It's Paige's favorite horror movie, and we watched Disturbia, and I loved it. I don't remember much of it when I watched it the first time. However, when I watched it, there was no twist at the end. The serial killer was the serial killer that was picked. The entire movie was completely predictable. Still loved the movie, but it was very predictable. And I worry that Cobra Kai, because it's pulling from a source material, they don't need to go super drastic or dynamic, and I hope that they do. And the amount of praise that they're getting, I'm hoping, and I know you guys pretty well, you wouldn't praise something just for being cool about the old movie. It's good on its own, and that's what I'm hoping it would be.
I think what carries
It
the
really
show,
is.
honestly, is first of all, nobody knew that Johnny was this. That like his name is William Zabka. Nobody knew that he was this good, right? Like we've never seen the story told from this side before, and we knew that Johnny
He
was,
nails it.
we knew that Russo was good, but we didn't know that William had this great backstory. But to go even further than that, Miguel is like a great actor.
Oh,
This
bro,
makes me wanna
incredible.
watch the show. He's always like, hey, I know you want to help me out with stuff? And he's like, kid, leave me alone. And that guy who's like finger fucking his pizza at the fucking gas station, like, oh, just give me a plate, give it to me. And they get into that fight in the beginning, and he whoops their fucking ass. That fight went on just the right amount of time. Like at first I thought it was gonna end too early, and the fat kid's like, yo, I'll fuck you up some more. And he's like, oh, you guys want more? About. It was perfect, you know?
I like how his dad came in with the nurse and was like trying to buy him out of his life.
Oh my
and
God.
that whole scene was my favorite so far.
Yeah.
And I also liked how they made the bad guy from the movie the main protagonist. I think that's a nice little twist.
Bro, yeah, but Chris, there's always been a joke from How I Met Your Mother that Johnny is the hero of the movie, and that Daniel is just this dickhead that comes in and keeps trying to steal his girlfriend.
He's
Yeah.
new kid in school. He's pissing up on your girl.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just sitting in the bathroom rolling a joint, and here comes Daniel. Like,
He's like, and then Daniel's
I'm all over
karate teacher
me.
damn near gave my friend a concussion and kicked me in the chest. You know? He's
That
like,
is true.
That was damn near
he's like,
assault.
I was just chilling on the beach with my friend. Here he comes.
He comes up and starts kissing on my girl. What was I supposed to do? So I hit him. Big deal. We were kids.
That's why their relationship evolving is definitely the hallmark of the show. Because you keep wanting it to happen, but you have to keep going with it, man. You're gonna find more parts like that you're gonna love.
I do love the show so far. I think it's great. I mean,
don't give up on the Mandalorian either.
oh
Keep
hell
going.
no, dog. I'm on episode 7 right now, and I am.
Are
Fully
you all in
invested.
on that?
Oh, all in.
Are you?
I don't
Talk
think.
about that too while we're here. Where are you at? Tell us.
Yeah,
everybody.
where are you?
God, man, I watched Hamilton last
Hopefully
night, so that's
everybody
the
here
thing.
has
about-
watched The Mandalorian as well.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't talk. Well, forget it.
No,
Who
it's
cares?
fine.
It's all right. It's all right.
Spoilers
You're
on
not
The
far enough to
Mandal-
really tell any.
No,
spoilers.
I'm not. I'm
you can't
not.
tell. You can't tell 2.5-year-old spoilers.
Yeah, that's a very good point. So,
So you've met, you know everything about Baby Yoda, or
No.
a little bit.
yeah, I know enough about. I mean, I literally know nothing about him. He picked him up. They just the guy tried. They just picked up.
Droid yet?
The
Have
what?
you met that droid that spins?
Yeah, that was pretty early on. Yeah, that was on there. I'm
You
at the.
saw that scene at the
Was
end.
that the fighter? Was that the fighter droid?
Dying.
Yeah.
The droid's dying, and he takes his thing off, and he's like, "Yo." He's
No.
like, "I can't. You can't. You haven't seen that with the droid?"
No, I saw he.
No, Nick, you're talking about a droid that's for. I was talking about the same one you are. It's further.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen
Yeah,
that.
he's like, "Oh, I've already seen that droid with the spinning
Well,
thing."
there's a fighter droid when he shows up to get Baby Yoda. There's a fighter droid that's
No, it's
That's
not
there.
that one.
Okay.
Nick, I think you're talking about the one that's like towards the ending.
Yeah, it must
anyway, there's a scene, or the one I was on was where he worked with that kid who was trying to rise up through the guild, and he went with him to go catch that Asian assassin, and then the Asian assassin ended up telling the kid, hey man, that Mandalorian's worth more than I am, and he kills the Asian assassin and then goes back to try and kill the Mandalorian, and he ends up it doesn't end well for him. and they get away. But
Isn't that an episode where there's a little spoiler at the end of it?
I
think that is after the credits.
Oh, I don't watch after the credits. Or is there because I'm on watching?
You
it on
really
Disney
shouldn't.
Plus.
You really shouldn't, man. You should in Mandalorian.
Yeah, damn, I didn't know because I watch it on
Yeah.
streaming services, so it goes to just rolls into the next episode.
Nah, you need to like go into the credits
Oh,
on some of
shit.
those.
Well,
because I think, yeah.
I'll have to check that out. But I do want to pivot a
Mike's
touch.
MU biggity about the whole situation.
Yeah?
I think, yeah, whoa.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't want to.
Whoa, hey.
That's
whoa.
definitely the one because she gets killed, right?
Who gets killed?
The Asian assassin.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. You're missing kind of a
A chunk.
spoiler for. It's for. I think it's more for the third season though.
Oh, damn. All right. Well, I'll check that out. I'll definitely check that out. I want to talk one more thing about not a show that you can watch right now, but a movie that is coming out, and it's Vince Vaughn's Freaky, and it does look pretty damn good. It's getting a massive feedback as a pretty damn good movie.
Watched it yet either. It looks sweet.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot
It
of
does look really good.
a lot of positive
Brittany,
feedback coming in from
My
it.
wife has been killing me to see that movie.
Yeah, I mean, in a movie like that, you wouldn't typically expect to have a very high audience score or a very high positive review at all. Really, it's a cheesy, kind of like that Hubie Halloween style, like just a tacky comedy.
It's a
And
really nice twist on the Freaky Friday spin. You know,
Yeah.
they said what they did was just really nice this
Yeah.
time, and I think it's great to see Vince return to comedy.
I'm about to say I'm a huge Vince Vaughn fan, so I'm fucking excited either way
Where
about
has he
it.
been?
I'm
Well, he's just
Like,
been he
probably
said
the
he-
Bahamas drinking coconuts, you know.
He's got a fantastic idea for Wedding Crashers 2, and he said he's been working on penning that. So
Good for
Yeah.
him. He should. That'd be great.
Oh, please do.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've always thought Vince was freaking hilarious. You
Yeah.
know? It's just, I
He's
think
one of my
everybody-
favorites in Hollywood.
You know, everyone's got their 15 minutes of fame. I feel like, and so we go through these. You
I
know,
would agree
right
with that.
I just mean that everybody becomes. We all get a new favorite lead role, and it's like, you know, you can't be Christian Bale as Batman forever. You know, before you know, you're somebody else's Batman, and we've already had Ben Affleck, and now we're getting ready to have who's Matt Reeves' Batman? It's the guy
Kevin
from
Costner.
No, the guy. From,
No, it's the guy from Twilight. Oh damn it!
Look at us.
You wouldn't if you hadn't asked me. I would have
Come
been
on,
able to tell
Jack.
you the name.
Throw it in there, chat. I'm looking.
What? Robert Pattinson.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Thank you. Thank
Track
you.
research team. Thanks, Jake.
I
Yeah,
thought I
it's
could have
Jake-
swore I
Jake
saw
from
a
State
tweet
Farm.
that hold on a second before I
Kevin
speak.
Costner is going to be in the Flash. Yes, he is.
He's taking over Ben Affleck's role as Batman.
It's not Kevin Costner either. It's fucking Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton, that's it. Michael Keaton. I said Kevin Costner.
Costner from Waterworld is going to be Batman.
No, man, no. I'm actually
Did you
pretty
really
excited
just
about
get-
it. Michael Keaton is being Batman. I think is a really good role.
Although, can we talk about how good Kevin Costner was as Superman's dad in that scene where he's like, "I have to go," and his son's like, "Don't go, Dad," and he's like, "I have to," and he goes to save them, and he gets killed.
Hey, by
Never
the way,
saw it.
did any of you guys watch Wonder Woman?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was weird when he came back from heaven. I'm not gonna lie, it was
Yeah.
very-
I mean,
she's like, I wished for you to come back, and she's like, where?
did you like it?
I don't know. I can't explain where I've been, but it was a real happy place. And I looked at my dad like, well,
Did
he
you?
just-
Yeah. Did you like it?
I give it a 6. So
Yeah.
So
it
hell
wasn't-
no.
It wasn't a bad movie because I mean Gal Gadot, but you know.
Gal Gadot-
Wow. You better take a
Incredible
breath.
actress.
An incredible
I mean-
actress.
Yes. But
Worth a
I-
watch. Would you
I don't-
recommend our
man,
viewers to
I
watch
don't-
Wonder
I don't
Woman?
know if
Michael?
Watch if you go.
yeah,
It
it
is?
is worth a watch.
It is?
It's worth a watch if you've got HBO Max. It's absolutely worth a watch because it's the second one. But I think that they fast tracked the third one because it's just an okay movie. It doesn't do anything special. I don't know how I feel about.
I hate movies that don't push the narrative. They're comparing this one to Iron Man 2. How Iron Man 2 set up some other things, but didn't really push the narrative of
What could this possibly have set up? Like she's been missing for all this time. Oh wait, she's not really missing. She's running around
the
malls.
story with Chitara.
Like what the fuck? Really?
She,
Like what? That's ridiculous.
Does she
Trash.
still have some powers? No powers?
Yo, I wanna just say for a second, if any of you guys, which I know your audience is, or you're supposed to read the room a little better. However, you should watch Hamilton It's free on Disney Plus if you have it. Watch that shit. I watched it last night and it blew my
Right, let's
fucking
get
mind
into
apart.
this, right? So it's
Yeah.
a musical, yeah?
Yeah,
How long
yeah.
is it?
2.5 hours.
2
2 hours
About
and
2.5
45
hours
minutes.
long.
Yeah. It's wild.
Now,
I did not
listened
expect
to
that.
music today. It didn't sound like traditional
It's not.
music like you hear
It's
today.
it's
So it is still Broadway music. 'Cause
So-
you were like, oh, it's rapping and
No,
stuff.
Bro,
no.
there are no speaking parts in this
at all. It's complete
singing
song
throughout the whole way.
Yeah, it's
But
song
like
for
rap.
2.5 hours of rap, and it is
But
the most.
rap, like Beauty and the Beast music, like
No, bro.
No.
It's
I'm
No,
walking
man.
down the street.
no, not at all. No, well, I mean, halfway between what you're thinking it is.
I gotta go.
It's halfway between that. It's not that, but it's halfway between that and something like The Weeknd or Eminem. You know, where
Chris
it's
said
like,
it's the greatest writing he's
I've ever heard.
I
There's
know,
by
that was like,
but-
what, better than God of War? And
by
I was
a
like,
by a
Brittany's
million
been trying to tell
by
everybody.
a million miles, Nick. By a there and not that the story is greater than God of War, which in a sense it is. In my opinion, it actually is better. The story,
well, what it's about.
what it's
I
about
mean,
because it's true and the historical research that he did in order to write this. I looked everything up last night at like 12:30 at night watching this. There's a ton of historical references in this that are 100% accurate. He put a lot of time into making it historically accurate, and but for him to tell this narrative throughout 2 hours and 45 minutes in song, in bars, like this is not like, hey, what are you doing here? Oh, I'm hanging out. This is in that period of time. They've said like 17, 25, 45 words and spoken. I mean, the story moves so fast, bro. The amount of content you get in 2 hours and 45 minutes, if you fucking blink, you've missed it. You know,
when's it set? I'm trying to find that out.
it's
When's
set during the Revolutionary War. Alexander Hamilton fights with George Washington in the Revolutionary War and the creation of America and the writing of the Federalist Papers that Alexander Hamilton did.
We're in old England town. I'm like,
Yeah.
Revolutionary War? When? And then we learned about the Civil
Yeah, bro,
War.
the scene
King.
that song they do where he's like writing the papers, I think is amazing.
Incredible.
Like,
Incredible.
it's
There's so much to this. There's so much to this. I mean, and I don't want to beat a dead horse when I say like
I'm like, I always hate musicals that have really crap sets.
the set was that made it for me. Bro.
it's kind of revolutionary
It's-
the way that they do that.
Yeah, the spinning stage, because the stage spins.
yeah.
So when they're
Yeah.
walking, it looks like they're moving. You know, instead of them just like standing across the stage,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
can
yeah.
walk and
Well,
it's
it's been sold out like everywhere.
It's remarkable,
you know?
Nick.
You can't
There's-
get tickets anywhere.
there's no other
Yeah,
word but
man, Brittany and
You
I
remarkable.
saw
like
it.
musicals, Chris?
I
You
do.
need to look into "We Will Rock You," but the Queen musical.
I've heard that's
It's
very
so
good.
I saw
haven't
it
seen
live
that.
in London like 3 or 4 times. It's so good.
I mean, The Greatest Showman to me is one of the best
still
masterpiece of a
haven't seen it, and I've heard
masterpiece
it's
of a
so
movie.
good.
And I gotta say, and now this is Hamilton. It's a filmed Broadway play, so this is not The Greatest Showman. I believe
I would always put The Showman above it
Because
of
it's
the
a
way
movie.
The Showman is so well, like it's
Yeah.
like Moulin Rouge.
Right.
You're just like, oh, this is dazzling.
It-
like the lighting, how they get the Edison lights in
Yeah.
the background perfectly twinkling.
it's that's a holy shit movie. You're literally saying holy shit 30
I
times
gotta
in that
watch
movie.
it. I gotta watch it.
And Hamilton is a holy shit movie, but you're sitting there going like, how did this man write
Would you be
this?
doubly blown away in person?
But you get, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, bro. Yeah, me and Brittany saw it live.
Without
It was
a doubt.
incredible.
Really?
I've
Yeah,
seen
it
it
was
on.
amazing.
I've already seen the actual Broadway play on Disney Plus, and I
Mm-hmm.
will spend whatever it costs if this show comes back to Florida.
Yeah, it's like
whatever.
$150 a ticket, I think. Yeah.
I think it's far more than that. But I mean, I think that I don't give a shit
I don't remember what it was.
I don't give a shit what it costs. I'll pay it. I will watch this live
It
if it ever comes to
it gives
Florida.
almost every song in it gives you goosebumps.
Every single one.
Like all of them.
Yeah.
Like every single one you watch.
Yeah,
It's
it's-
goosebumps. All everybody goosebumps.
Amazing. I mean, I just want to give that out. I know, like I said, read the room. I mean, our audience probably isn't super into musicals, but this one, this one's worth it, man. It's worth the time if you can pay attention long enough and you like history even a little bit, you know. But the attention's the big one, because if you lose track of what the hell you're looking at for 2 or 3 minutes to look down at your phone, you're lost. You have no clue what
Yeah,
happened.
for sure.
You know.
Link on the Snapchat.
Rainbow
podcast.
Six Siege.
Well, boys, I think we are.
$9.90.
I think we're gonna wrap it. We're all gonna buy Rainbow Six Siege. We'll do a little Let's Play. If you guys want to check it out, head on over to our Twitch at
We
High
want to do a
Input
little
Games.
Nightmares looking as well because that's on Game Pass.
Oh,
We
that's-
should definitely try to get.
We'll
Let's Play
definitely
back
check that
on.
one out too.
$8.
If you guys are watching us on Twitch live right now, be sure to go over to YouTube at High Input Games and check out some of our past shows and give us a follow and a sub because we are new at this and would love any support that you guys have to give. And if you're
Yeah,
watching
please
this,
do.
Any
Any
a
support.
sub is like lunch money to us,
Yeah.
baby. Let's do this.
yeah, help us keep deciding to do this every Wednesday. And again, next Wednesday, 8 o'clock, we will be doing this again. And if you're watching this on
'cause I
YouTube,
think Chris is right. Like if we don't have your support, what are we doing this for,
yeah,
guys?
we're not just doing this talk to.
100%.
I mean, we do talk
Yeah,
about
we want to do this.
This
we
whole-
want to do this.
This whole thing was birthed because we talk about this shit anyway, honestly. So now we're just hitting the record button before we have these conversations. But it would
course.
mean the world to us if you guys went ahead and just gave us a little bit of love. And if you're watching this on YouTube and it's an old episode, head on over to High Input Games Twitch / High Input Games. And we're going to be doing this every Wednesday, roughly around 8 o'clock. Hopefully no later, but sometimes it is. I ain't going to lie to you.
Are our Twitch
But-
handles beneath us as well? I'm sure
They
they
are.
are. You can
They
follow
are.
all
Yes,
of us.
they are.
Stream
Yeah.
games. Mike's often streaming. Chris is streaming. I'm streaming. We
Yeah.
could be caught streaming completely different games at
Yeah.
completely different times. So just
us
follow
some love.
each channel.
I'm gonna be
and
streaming. I'm gonna be streaming a lot.
bell
more
and the
on
whistle
Instagram
goes
with it.
off. Drop on by. You don't even have to stop by. Just follow us, and whenever you feel like coming by,
Yep.
drop on by. We're always good for a chat.
Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate you sticking around this long for all of you who are here. And much love. See you next time.
Peace.